Hey there, everyone. This is Adam with Breathe Forward, a channel where I talk about all things about Alba, Alba Method, Alba Emoting in general, and also my personal teaching practice for the technique. This is one of my first videos. I just started this channel. I am not a seasoned YouTuber, as I'm sure you can tell. But boy, did something happen today that really lit the fire underneath me to start putting out more videos and to reach out to you with some informed and knowledgeable official Alba content. All right, now why can I say that without sounding on a high horse? I'll get to that in a second. So, what happened today when I was looking through one of the more popular acting subreddits? I saw a post with someone advocating for Alba Emoting and the work of Susanna Block in a way that I didn't recognize the lineage. Essentially, I didn't. I'm not going to ridicule this person. I'm not going to identify this person or say their name out loud. That is never what I'm going to be about on this channel. But they described their one experience with learning Alba from a teacher who taught them some of the breathing patterns, led them into some of the emotional experiences, and then afterwards talked to them a little bit about what Alba is and actually calling it by name and basically giving the warning after the fact. And I want to say right now that is not anything that any established Alba practitioner will ever do to you. We almost always begin teaching Alba the same way. That's not to say that all Alba practitioners have the same pedagogy, but we will always start with neutral and step out. Neutral and step out. Those two are the foundation and the safety net for the technique. A legitimate certified Alba teacher will never launch you directly into the emotional effector patterns. So that is something you need to look for up front. Basically, it became very apparent to me today that there are already people out there, mostly I think in the American theater community, in the acting community, that have just heard a little bit about this amazing and accurate emotional recall technique called Alba Method or Alba Emoting, and they learned a little bit about it, and then they think because they were exposed to it that they're now a teacher. And unfortunately, that is a little too common in the American theater scene. I would like to be a voice to advocate that we all stop doing that, but my main focus is on the legitimacy of real Alba practitioners, making sure that the technique is represented well and protected, and making sure that students aren't getting themselves into a situation where they can be manipulated or taken advantage of by their Alba teachers, which is a reality in the American theater world. I think a lot of actors can have a little bit of too much adoration for the wisdom of their original teachers, and perhaps it's well deserved. Maybe early on in your career you worked with some amazing people. I know I certainly did. But you still have to take with a grain of salt the things that people are offering. You still have to use your own judgment to determine whether or not what you've learned from them was useful or applicable. And I think we all need to be a little bit more vigilant about some of the teachers that we pursue. So, what authority do I have to say that about other acting teachers who are trying to establish themselves, who are trying to earn a living during these difficult times? I certainly understand that. And to people who are earnestly trying to advocate a technique they believe that they understand. Well, I stumbled into this quite accidentally. When I applied to my undergrad school, my academic advisor happened to be one of the very first Americans that was ever taught in Alba by Susanna Block herself. I was able to study with this professor for several years. I went on after graduating undergrad. I kind of joke that this is my grad degree, but I went on after undergrad to study with almost all of the American teachers, as well as the beginnings of the Canadian culture up in Montreal, the Canadian teachers. This all culminated in me doing my final teaching study with Susanna Block at her Alba studio in Cachagua, Chile. I received my teacher training from her in 2011. Since then, I've been teaching mostly individuals and small theater groups. And just this year, I have been elected to serve my first term on the board for the AMA, which is the Alba Method Association, an international group of people. And our main goal is to preserve the legacy of this technique and advocate for the teachers who have been through the training, who have been certified. The main takeaway from all of this is that it doesn't really take that long to learn Alba emoting patterns and to learn a lot of the technique to be able to teach to a beginner. It doesn't take that long. But the years and years that I spent learning to become a teacher of this technique, most of what we focused on was keeping our students safe. Alba is an emotions technique. It is not a theater technique. Emotions are real. Working with emotions can get emotional. You may never know all of the past experiences of all of your students and what some of the emotional patterns may trigger. You need to be prepared for that. So, am I angry at the person who made this post? Am I mad that there's people out there who learned a little bit about Alba and now they think that they can teach the technique? No, I'm not mad. I can't hold that against somebody. If they're second, third generation, it's not their fault if they learned from somebody who isn't certified or if they learned bad technique from someone who thinks they know how to teach it. But that original person who taught them, you need to understand that there can be some really, really wide ripples that spread out from your decision to teach something that you do not fully understand, especially when it comes to the realm of emotions and how deep that goes into all of us, some of us more than others. So I would really encourage you, if you are someone in this position, to seek out a certified Alba practitioner. You can look at the Alba Method Association website, check out the AMA. There is a list of all of the certified teachers, and this is not just the certified teachers who are part of the AMA. This is not just our club, it's everybody that we know of that is legitimately certified in this technique. Check them out. Try to find a training in your area. Hopefully, they're going to be a little bit more accessible as soon as COVID restrictions are released and we can all be in in-person classes again. Because that's another thing, we don't really support the teaching of the Alba patterns online for beginners. It really is best for you to learn this technique live in the presence of a certified Alba practitioner, not just for the experience of learning the knowledge, but for your safety as well. And if you think about it, if you want to be an effective performer, I guess I'm talking more about theater performers than film performers. Emotional communication is such a visceral, palpable thing. How could you learn that online? How could you learn that on video? You want to get that experience in real life from a real Alba teacher. So I know this video was a little crude, a little rambling. I felt a time crunch. I really wanted to get this information out right away. I will have much more videos like this and much more information to follow. Please, if you like what you heard, give me a like, give me a follow. All of those things are very, very important for the YouTube algorithms. They will help me get in front of the people who need to see this information. And I really appreciate you watching. See you next time.